Here we go. Oh, okay, here we go. So, I'm gonna have to edit out. The next time I have my good teeth in. Just let y'all know I will be vaping through this. So if y'all got a problem with vaping, then y'all, I would just not clicking on the video. Not to be rude or anything, it is a habit that I'm trying to kick. So today's topic, is life guidance through numerology and astrology. So, oh, looks like we got somebody watching. I wonder. so, this is the first live stream that I'm doing, so it's gonna take me a little bit to get into the groove. But just to give a little talk about what does it mean for life guidance for life guidance with numerology and astrology. For those that don't know, numerology is pretty much a study of numbers. Some people from way back in the past that has been here, been going way before me, somehow we're able to study numbers enough and find patterns in order and to not really make predictions, but almost like how psychology is, where they can find certain things that people do and they come up with a diagnosis. Well, these people realize that people that hold certain numbers, normally from the time that they're born, hey, hey, oh, nice to meet you, Indonesian. Oh, thank you very much for joining me. Um, but they picked up the same pattern too. So like the number one means something. Numbers 1 through 9 all mean something, and then you have the master numbers 11, 22, and 33. Those are considered master numbers. So by studying these and the combination of how they work, and even your name, there's numbers that are derived from your name. It kind of gives you like a blueprint of your personality. Now, one thing that you need to make sure that you do is you got to use astrology with this too, and not just just Western astrology. There needs to be Chinese astrology too. And I'm doing very good. I hope you're doing good yourself. And like I said, thank you very much for chiming into the channel. It's really good. I'm doing really good. Um, you need to use both in order to come up with a full blueprint as far as not even a full blueprint because humans are so daggone complex that even uh, using numerology and astrology, you won't get the full picture because you gotta look up upbringing, you gotta look at parenting styles, you gotta look at genealogy. But by looking at just the numbers and looking at the astrology, you can definitely get about 80 to 85% of who somebody actually is. That last 15% is going to be per that individual. And to be honest, I actually like this approach a little better with numerology astrology. Then I'm not saying don't go to a psychiatrist or a therapist. If you need that help, I promote it, go do it. You need to go see those. I've been through it myself. But I found out that there's a lot of things that they consider mental impairments or like a mental disorder that if you actually just look at some things going on between the numerology chart and the astrology chart, you'll actually find out those are actually just normal traits of that person, who they are. Like for instance, there's this thing called a life path, right? So life path, you take the whole birth date, you add it together, and it gives you a number, and then you got the day you was born on. If it's a single digit, you keep it. If it's a double digit, you add it together, and then whatever that number is. So you have your life path number, and then you have your day number. Those two numbers are really important. They're like the two focal points. Oh, well, hope you and your family are healthy too. And you're totally fine with working today. Like I said, this is my first live stream. You know, there's gonna be many more to come, and but at the same time, stay at home dad. I take care of the baby most of the time. So as far as when I'm gonna actually pop up on here, it can vary. I like the fact that 8 people are viewing this is my favorite number. So, but getting into it, so like I have a life path number of 5. 5 is the number of travel. It's the number of change. It's the number of the entertainer. Um, it's the most sexual number out of everybody. It's also an extroverted number. And then you have 7. That's the day I was born on. Equals a 7. That's the number of the loner. That's the number of the genius. That's the number of. Unfortunately, you got to watch your health with that number 7. But looking at some of the base traits between those two, you got one that's a really extroverted number in that 5, and you got one that's an introverted number in that 7. Well, if you look at somebody that can go through really extroverted times in their life versus some that at the same time can go through introverted times, those tend to be traits of either personality disorders, like bipolar or shoot, bipolar or the multiple personality disorder. I can't remember the exact names, but those are just basic traits, you know. So, and then if you go to the astrology side, which is a little bit more complicated to get into, but you can actually go through that. There's 12 houses, and based on where the planets were when you were born, you know, you can get all these different combinations, all these different energies going around, and those also can give indicators on things that might be going on. Like there's a thing called a square. Normally, with a square, there's two aspects of yourself that's fighting each other right now, and you have to choose one. So most people go through this life not really understanding that most of the mental things they go through, especially when they struggle with it, is things that are naturally within themselves, but they need to conquer. Either you got to take both sides and find a way to blend them together to make it more powerful, or you got to choose, you know? And if you add that on top of upbringing, there's a long period. Most of us don't realize till we're about 25. About 25 is when we start actually picking up on it. But there's a lot of things given to us in life that's not ours. It's not who we are. There's a lot of ways of thinking and ways that we perceive things that's not who we are. You know, it was what our mom thought or what our dad thought or what our friends thought down the street. And then we get to a certain age and we start to realize like, hey, you know, I'm not vibing with this correctly. But it might have been something that kept you safe the whole time. It might have been something that like helped you out, but you might have to get rid of it. Who knows? But through numerology and astrology, you can figure out actually what you are, who you are, and move forward. You know. So just like hopefully I'm hoping, because I'm only going to be on here for about maybe 30 minutes. I'm hoping somebody asks a question, you know, just something that you're dealing with, and I guarantee you, just based off of just some simple questions, I can help you out through numerology and astrology. I can help you understand that issue that you're dealing with and kind of how to move through it. You know, and then just as a disclaimer, I'm gonna pause it here. Like the video if you like what you're hearing. Share it. You know, see if we can get more people on here. I also have a website called dragonsightknowledge.com, and that's dragon. The site is spelled SIGHT. And on there, I actually do numerology reports, astrology reports. They're listed there. I actually do also apparel, which next time I have this video, you'll see me with my apparel on. Right now, I got my Marine Corps shirt. This is actually in remembrance of my brother Ivan, or excuse me, not trying to name names, my brother that I lost here 2 years ago. So, but for now, I'm just trying to get into the flow. But let me see here. Something about numerology. Well, here's one thing. Enemy years. Enemy years is a really, really important thing. And I'll give you the surface level. So, I'm born in the year of the dragon, right? Actually, let me not lose myself. Those that come on here that know me, y'all know my stuff. Let's say hypothetically, here we go. Right now, it's the year of the snake, right? According to Chinese astrology, it is the year of the snake in 2025. So, when you're born in the year of the snake, your good year will come around every 12 years. So, if we just go forward, the next good snake year will be 2037, and then 2049, and then 2061, right? If we was to go backwards, the last snake year would have been 2013, and the one before that was 2001. Oh, hello there, Julian. Hey, hey. Thank you. That is awesome. So, look at those years, right? But you have what's called an enemy year or a bad year. That comes around 6 years after you're born. And then if you look at it, every 6 years they alternate. So when you turn 6, it's an enemy year. When you turn 12, it's your year. When you turn 18, it's an enemy year. You see how it's going? Now to add in, it's going to get a little confusing. You do have two friends. Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm trying. I'm definitely trying. Hey, keep me motivated, right? Thank you very much, Julian. So every 6 years, or 6 years from you're born, enemy year, 12 years, then you have a good year. But 4 years in between, so from age 0 to 4, at 4 years is a friend year. 6 years is an enemy year. 8 years is a friend year. 12 years is your year. Because in Chinese zodiac, you have what's called trines. So a snake has two friends. A snake is friends with people born in the year of the rooster, and then people born in the year of the ox. And if you look at the snake year, the last rooster year would have been 2021. The next ox year is 2029. So, and then if you look at the next enemy year for the snake, which is the snake's enemy, is the year of the pig. That's going to be in the year 2031. So now, when I say enemy, this does not mean that like, oh yeah, you find out what your enemy sign is and y'all go out to the street and fight and stuff like that. No. So what happens is, oh hey, I had to come inside because there's too much stuff going on outside. I got you. So what's happening is that when the universe puts energy out, or just the universe creator, whatever y'all want to call it, puts energy out, not one person is supposed to be that powerful. I mean, you get help because you have two friend signs with you, but it's evened out by that enemy year. And what that means is it's an opposing force. So the energy from that enemy sign needs to. Oh, nice! You streaming too? Hey, get it going. Get it going. Maybe one day I have to come over there and check yours out too. I'm gonna pay attention because I'm gonna say these videos. I might come check it out. So normally during those years when you're going through your enemy years, normally the times when things kind of go sideways. It's almost like if it can go wrong, it's gonna go wrong. But it's meant to. You got everything's in 9-year cycles. But normally when you go through your enemy year, that's kind of testing you, seeing what you learn. See, it's going to put you through a lot of things. But you can actually, okay, you can actually navigate those things pretty well. So without getting too far off track, most people don't understand that. So when there may be some years that crop up and they're just like, what's going on? Everything's just going left. Well, it's a high possibility that you may be in your enemy year. And there is a way to not only, based on what I said, you already know how to get to your enemy year, but you can break down the year. You can break it down in certain cycles, and you can actually know exactly what you will be dealing with around those months. Now, granted, this is called predictive numerology and astrology. One thing I definitely want to make clear, I am not here to tell y'all when y'all going to be rich, who you're going to meet, who's your soulmate, all that stuff. If somebody's telling you that they can find that for you, that's a load of crap. It's crap. This crap. They can't. There's too many variables that goes on, especially with humanities, especially with the brain, especially with consciousness, that you cannot predict exactly where somebody's going to be at what time. But you can figure out what energies are around you. It would be no different with having a group of friends that you've been friends with for 10 years and knowing that if y'all were in this situation, these possibilities could happen. It's the same exact thing. But for you to say that I'm in that situation and this is exactly how it's going to go, it's not going to, it doesn't work that way. So like, and a lot of information I'm going to share here, you can go and verify online. The information I don't share on here, you would have to go to my website and hopefully get a report from me. Trust me, it's worth it. It's already changed people's lives. I mean, literally, it changed my life. So, and I'll get into. Oh, thank you. And I'm telling you right now, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Just the tip of the iceberg. Oh, well, thank you. So, do you have a teacher in numerology or astrology? I'm wondering about that because I've had a couple. And like I count myself as one just because of how much I track down knowledge. But one person I learned from is a guy called Gary Greenberg. He also goes by GG33. I love his knowledge. I'm not a big fan on the prices that he charges to get further knowledge, and I'm not too big of a fan of who he hangs out with and some of his mentality. But the one thing that I will always appreciate about somebody, if their knowledge is concrete and you can't deny it, I will always accept the knowledge, but it doesn't mean I have to always accept the person. It's something I learned in the Marine Corps where it's reverse of what I learned in the Marine Corps. In the Marine Corps, you have to respect the rank, but you don't have to respect the person. I'm doing the opposite on this one. He was doing that. Oh, awesome. Yeah. If you got some information, some questions, feel free to ask. Especially if you're learning it, maybe, because that's another thing. If you think that I'm ever saying anything like that might be contradictory or you don't understand, always, ask me some questions, test my knowledge, because everything I'm saying, I don't encourage people to take everything I'm saying at face value. Take what I'm saying, go research it, and then if I'm wrong, challenge me on it. help me learn something new. Most of the stuff I'm talking to right now is pretty well known, so it's not going to be that wrong. But or not that wrong. It's not going to be wrong. But I'm a type of person where I love learning. And if I'm wrong, I love figuring out why I'm wrong. I love figuring out better ways to do it, and I love expanding my knowledge. And if I'm right, that's fine. I love sharing it. That's one of the biggest reasons why I'm here. You going into the third grade? Oh, whoa. Hey, you going to the third grade? Oh, so you're young. Okay, well, shoot. If you're starting a streaming career in the third grade, that's actually pretty daggone awesome. And also for you, this is one thing that I definitely want you to take to heart, especially saying that you were in the third grade. You're still really young. So if you're watching this video and you're learning about numerology and astrology, one thing you want to do, allow yourself to grow. Allow yourself to be a kid. Allow yourself to grow into the adult that you want to be. You know, don't take take numerology astrology like you live and breathe it every day. Just take your time. I forgot. Let's see. You start around first grade, around 6 years old, so that means you're probably around 8 or 9 years old. So take your time. You know, but study this stuff. Learn it now. If you start learning it now, by the time you reach adulthood, you're gonna be able to teach me. I've known about this my whole life, but I didn't start getting into it until 2 years ago. Division. Oh, I know division too. I was really good at math. Really good at math. But but yeah, no. So I'm sorry, this caught me off guard just a little bit. But live your life, listen to your parents, do your studying, and realize you being in third grade, the world that you're going to be living in as an adult is different than the world that I'm currently living in as an adult. So you want to prepare yourself for that. And don't let technology rule you. I know a lot of people want to be streamers. They want to do video games. They want to do Facebook Live. Don't have that as your career to start off with when you become older. Make sure you have a solid base. Make sure you have a foundation. Let this be your hobby and let it transform into your career path if this is something that you want to do. And I mean, while you're a kid now, you got all the liberty because your parents are taking care of you. Hopefully you got a roof over your head. Hopefully you got food in your belly. As long as you got that, use this time to practice. Use this time to evolve yourself. And things take time, man. Things will take time. But getting back on the numerology and astrology, there's so many things in there that can help you out in life. And just a little backstory about me. Yeah, I know. Everybody's on summer break. Enjoying it. I miss my summer breaks. I don't get those no more. Shoot. But just a little backstory about me is being in the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps was simple, right? The Marine Corps, you knew what your job was. You knew what you had to do. You were given instructions. You was given orders. You knew what order you sat. Out here in the civilian world, it's not that way. You go to a job just because somebody's been there for like 10, 15 years. They're just got the same job title as you, but they think they have seniority over you. That's not how this works. Also, when it comes to work ethic, your work ethic is different coming out the military than it is with people in the civilian world because of the way that you just work. We're used to going 110 miles an hour, but most people aren't. It's kind of hard to deal with, And so getting out the military, I ran into that. I had anger issues. I was yelling at people, job to job to job to job, and then just, certain other aspects of my life weren't working out. Eventually, I had to shut my brain off. All right, well, you have a good day there, Julian. I had to shut my brain off. So pretty much anywhere for about 5 to 10 years, I was asleep. I kind of just rode the coattails of life. I got really depressed for 2 years. Ended up drinking myself. Almost ended up passing away because of pancreatitis because of my drinking. See you later. So, it was definitely like what they call the dark night of the soul, but it lasted a long time. And not to get to too much more detail, it was just a trouble in life, and it was at a point to where I didn't think that I would end up getting married or having a kid, right? So eventually, when I got older, because I'm not trying to give out exact ages and things like that. I did end up meeting my wife. At the time, I didn't know she was gonna be my wife, but I did meet her, and very quickly within the first couple of months, I realized that who I was is not the type of person that deserved to be with her. I needed to transform to somebody completely different, and so I began to make those changes. You know, and from making those changes and constantly grinding, I am now at the point that I am where I'm now married and we have a child together. We're still going through life. You know, uh, there's still things that we are working on. That's another reason why I'm here. But the one thing I found out once I started diving into numerology, it literally said it was a big story that I ended up unfolding about myself that said I was literally going to go through that thing. Now imagine, take me back. I got out at 22 years old. What if I would have had that knowledge then? Now I'm not trying to do the whole thing where it's like, oh, if I knew then what I knew now. But it kind of begs the question. I knew I probably could have navigated my life a little better, but I'm at the point now to where I'm accepting of what happened because it got me to where I am right now. You know, and I learned this information at the time I was supposed to learn it, and I know for 100% fact I'm supposed to share it. My whole numerology chart says that. My whole astrology chart says that. So if I'm able to pinpoint the fact of love life being in shambles for years, I didn't have my first girlfriend until I was 30. Well, legit when I kind of had one, but I messed it up in like 2 weeks, so we don't count that. Finances, bad finances, making poor decisions. Like I said, living off of coattails, not caring about myself or life. My chart was telling me that story the whole time, telling me, hey, watch out for this, watch out for that. You're gonna have these issues, you're gonna have that issues. But also, as it was telling me that, it was also going, but here are the tools you can use to combat that, to navigate through that. That's it. I didn't know any of that. And then when I got into my 30s, I started naturally moving with that energy. And by naturally moving with that energy, it brought me to numerology astrology, which then boom, it clicked. And I'm like, man, like right now, according to my chart, me being on here, giving this information to y'all. Oh, welcome back. Me being on here giving this information to y'all is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm going to be climbing to where I'm going to be on bigger platforms. One of my big goals is to end up on that red carpet doing a TED Talk about numerology astrology. You know? But, oh, yeah. Yeah, give a shout out to Julian Gamba. I don't know how to actually do it on here yet. I will figure it out. And once I do, I'll make sure I put it in the video because you've been representing. So I'm not gonna forget you. Trust me. I never forget people that help me out in times, especially times like this. Like this is literally the first live stream, and I'm just talking, probably messing everything up. But guess what? We doing it anyway. Oh, no problem. So when you look at life and you want to guide it through numerology and astrology, what it will do, it will point out struggles you're going through. Oh, well, thank you very much, sir. It will point out struggles you go through, but it will also tell you what part, give you a guidepost on what energies you need to use to bypass that. But then by knowing your 5 core numbers, and you get those together and you see the flow of what's going on, then you can use that energy combined with the good energy you're supposed to get into to combat your challenges. Because that's another thing people don't understand is their challenge number. I'm not gonna say exactly how you find that on here. Like I said, you gotta go and get a report from me. I don't like to call them readings. Readings is kind of tainted. That makes it feel like I'm doing some oogie boogie stuff. And no offense to anybody else that does call it a reading. If they do, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. I like to call it a report because I'm gathering information about you, and then I'm giving you that information back to help you out. Therefore, I am giving you a report about yourself and your numbers and your astrology. So that's how you kind of, not that's how, but with all this and combined, you can get guidance from those two, from numerology and astrology. Now, kind of like an example, like one thing I like to point out, a lot of people, what they say about astrology is they like to go, oh well, I'm a Virgo, and it says this and this and this about Virgo, but I look over here at Scorpio and I have those traits too. I look over here at Pisces and I have those traits too. The reason why that happens is because when you go to astrology, your sun sign, the sign that was where the sun was at in the astrology chart, was Virgo. But there's a place where was your moon, where was your Jupiter, where was your Saturn. You got all these other planets and even the asteroids. The asteroids are a little lesser, but they can have an impact. You have all of these different planets that that have a place when you were born, and what you call it? They have a place when you were born, so it gives you different traits. Like if your sun is in Virgo, but your moon is in Aquarius, that means there's going to be some traits of Aquarius that show up with you. They're not going to be as strong as your Virgo because the sun is what's up front, the moon is what's inside, right? So then, if you add on, you got these things called north nodes and south nodes, where you were versus where you're going. Those are two big things in your life too, and depending, they could be in Taurus, and another one could be in Sagittarius. So this is why it feels like you have all these different type of signs in you, because you technically do, and there's a certain order, and depending on what house they belong to, is what impact they have on your life. So to give even like here's a I'm trying to think. I'm gonna use an example. Elon Musk. Everybody sees what's going on with Elon Musk. Elon Musk had Tesla. He had SpaceX. He helped Trump get into the office, and all of a sudden he's kicked out. Tesla's losing millions of dollars, and he kind of sounds like a disgruntled ex right now. So why is somebody that's so brilliant, so intelligent, that helped all these things happen, why is all this stuff happening to him? Eventually, I will be making a law for content video on this exact thing with way more detail, but I will give you three things. Or let me see here. It has to be three main things. So one thing about Elon Musk is his life path and day number. He's a 7-1, right? So he 7, the number of the genius, a very intelligent individual. Number of the loner. How many times have you heard about him staying in Tesla and stuff overnight, being by himself? He don't really have friends like that. He just works, right? So, and also health issues and things of that nature, which luckily it doesn't seem like that he's kind of had that. I can't say that for myself. But that one, there's something special about that one. A lot of people don't know this information I'll share with y'all. It's his 28 one. The number 28 is a number of wealth. If you want to go online, go research the most wealthiest people in the world, and more than half of them will either be born on the 28th, or you add their birthday together, it equals 28, or they're married to somebody that has a 28, or the birthday equals 28, or they have a child and it's the same thing. So that's a number of wealth. Most of the wealthy people in the world have that. Now, there's other ways to get wealth through numerology that it shows you, but one of the things we look at in numerology is that number 28. He's also born in the year of the pig. It's the year of the snake. The pig, that's their enemy signs. He's going through his enemy year right now. It just feels like everything just suddenly started happening to him, didn't it? This is what happens when you're going through your enemy year. Now, if you notice, he's actually just sitting in the background now. He's saying things from afar, because I guarantee you he caught on. Because one thing, you hear me say one thing a lot. Another thing is that a lot of rich people, or let's just say people in power, know about astrology, know about numerology, and they use it on the daily. You see it everywhere. Like, most people don't understand that you see it everywhere you go. And you just don't know that it's right there in front of you, because it's a whole different language to understand. So that's why he's going through what he's going through. He's going to be going through it until the year changes next year, around I think it's January, February timeframe is normally when the Chinese year switches, and we go into the year of the horse. Once we move over to the year of the horse, he's going to be okay again. It's not a friend year, it's not a friend year for him, but it's not an enemy year either, right? So he's going to be on the up and up. And then the year directly after that is the year of the goat. He's going to be in the friend year. So right there, I can already see that next year is probably going to be more of like he went down here. Next year is going to be a kind of level out point. The year after that, since he's in the friend sign, he's going to go up a little bit. Because when you being in your friend's energy is not like being in your energy, but being in the friend's energy is kind of like a leg up, you know. So you gotta look at those things. But I've reached my 30-minute mark for today. I say thank you very much, Julian, for stopping by. Thank you for everybody for stopping by, giving likes, and checking out the video. Try to keep them 30 minutes because I got family. I got family to help take care of, you know. And yeah, thank y'all very much. Always remember, peanut butter jelly time. And like I said, if you're interested in a report from me, I do 4 numerology reports. I do career numerology reports. I do 5-year plans, love and relationships. Even if you just want to ask 3 questions, all the prices for those are going to be on my website at dragonsightknowledge.com. I'm gonna put the link in the description. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the description, and then like and follow for more. I'm gonna try to do these as often as I possibly can. Until then, y'all have a wonderful day. Boop. Boop.